So it's that time of the year again where Watches and Wonders is around the corner, where all the new watches are released, but a lot of them are discontinued. So in this video, we're going to go through Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet and Mille as the brands to focus on, and what I think the predictions will be for 2024. I'm going to start off my predictions with what I think Rolex will discontinue this year. Now, there are obviously really big rumors about the Rolex Pepsi being discontinued. It seems to be confirmed by Rolex as they have released a patent for a new black and red ceramic bezel. Now, the issue over the last 2 years with the Rolex Pepsi is that they haven't been able to manufacture it due to the fact that achieving the blue on the ceramic bezel has been very difficult. So instead, it looks like there will be a reintroduction of the Coke, which was very popular back in the day. So although the Pepsi is likely to be discontinued and it's had an amazing run, I think it's time for a change and I'm excited to see that. The next watch I think that Rolex are going to discontinue is the Rolex GMT Master 2 126720 VTNR, otherwise known as the Sprite. The reason for that is that it's the only left-hand watch that they've made in production for a long time, and because of that, I'm not sure it's hit the ground running with popularity, as a lot of people find it awkward to wear that watch. So what I do think they'll do is get rid of the left hand and reintroduce it on the right hand, which I think will be the right move for Rolex to do that. Another thing that I've personally been thinking about is whether or not Rolex will continue to use meteorite in their watches. Now, it's known that they've discontinued the use of meteorite on the Rolex Daytonas, and the only available Rolex men's watches with the meteorite dial is the Day-Date and the Pepsi. So I'm not sure it's something that they'll keep running, as the hype and popularity of meteorite has died down, as both the meteorite Pepsi and the Day-Date are selling under retail. But what about what Rolex are going to bring out? This is where things get exciting. I think for me, the Day-Date range needs a revamp. The last Day-Date that was very popular, other than the Arabic dial, was the Olive Day-Date, but this has gone down vastly. But this has lost a lot of popularity and secondary market value. So I think that the Day-Date range needs to be revamped. I think if they focus more on introducing fun motif dials like the Jigsaw or the Cello dial, then the Day-Date range can definitely bring back some popularity to Rolex precious metal watches. What I'd also love to see is Rolex introduce more of its titanium range with the reference number ending in 7. Now, they've introduced this on the Marmite watch, that is the Rolex Titanium Sea Dweller 50mm, which is just huge. But that's something that has gained some sort of traction on the secondary market for being a rare watch. However, I think the Rolex Titanium on the Yachtmaster 42 works perfectly, as it's a lightweight watch anyways, and it's a great summer piece. So it would be interesting to see if they introduce that maybe on the Submariner or any other Rolex sports models, as that's where I see this material fitting. The next thing I could touch on, or something that I would personally love to see, is a white gold Submariner Hulk. Now, the Hulk was discontinued in 2020, so it'd be interesting to see if they can bring back arguably one of the most popular Rolex Submariners ever made on a white gold precious metal. And if that would be popular, who knows, but I think that would definitely be something. The Hulk was popular because it's the first time they introduced a green ceramic bezel and a green dial. I think that could really work on a white gold case and bracelet. Now, there have been some other leaked pictures and rumors that have been circulating around. Whether they're accurate or not, who knows. But what was rumored to come out is a purple ceramic Submariner bezel, which I'm not sure if that would actually happen, but it would be very interesting to see. And then another leak that confirms my previous prediction is the Rolex left-handed Sprite being made on the right hand. Now going on to Patek Philippe, which is my personal favorite brand. There are very strong rumors and almost 100% certainty that a new Patek Philippe sports model will come out. Now, there hasn't been any rumors about what exactly they're going to bring out. A source of mine has said that they are introducing or reintroducing something that they brought out in the 70s called the Nautilus. This is a cross between the Nautilus and the Ellipse collection, which sounds interesting, but I'm not sure it's something that everyone will like, as the case shape isn't for everyone. But I think they'll lean more towards making something similar to the Nautilus, or an in-between the Nautilus and another collection. Patek Philippe have already got rid of the anticipation of what's going to be discontinued, with some of the more notable watches being discontinued, such as the 5980 Nautilus and the 5164A Aquanaut. Now, with the 5164A Aquanaut, they will look to reintroduce a new steel model on a different color. We've been discussing a lot about what we think the next move is for Patek Philippe, and I think that's moving towards precious metal pieces. We've seen a lot of the steel pieces being phased out, such as the 5711, and being reintroduced on a white gold case such as the 5811. Now, what I think Patek might do is start bringing in more of the white gold and rose gold pieces, as well as potentially bringing back yellow gold, which was quite popular pre-2000s. And with a retro hype, I think that they might also start to push collections that have gone under the radar, such as the Ellipse. I've seen a lot of people getting into the vintage space, and I think that might be something that Patek have taken note of, and something that they might try to reintroduce into their collection. Now going on to Audemars Piguet. Now, Audemars Piguet has been a brand that has had a lot of negative feedback this year, and people have simply just lost interest in Audemars Piguet. Now, what I think, or the reason behind that, is that they have continued to push the same collection to all their clients, which is the Royal Oak. As aesthetic as the Royal Oak is, I feel like it's been seen and people have lost interest in buying that, and it seems as though the AP Salon keep pushing that to their clients instead of the higher complications such as the perpetual calendars and the ceramic perpetual calendars. I feel like AP has had a tough year on the secondary market for that very reason, because a lot of their clients feel as if they're not receiving the pieces that they desire, and instead being pushed to buy the simple chronographs and the standard Royal Oaks. What I would like to see from Audemars Piguet is going back to their heritage. Now, they're known for making amazing movements such as their automatic tourbillon, which they brought out in the 80s, which was the first automatic tourbillon ever made. And if they go back to making watches like this, then I feel as though they can revamp the Audemars Piguet hype. What I think has worked in their favor is collaborating with people such as Travis Scott, Alix, and even the concept pieces such as Marvel, as this brings a lot of hype around their brand. But I feel as though if they continue to do these collaborations, that they're only going to gain hype through collaborations and not the actual watches that they're producing. So I think if they can release something a bit more heritage, more of a dress watch, then that's something that could definitely revamp the Audemars Piguet brand. I think one thing that's damaged the brand a lot is that the secondary market was obviously very inflated between 2021 and 22, and people have lost a lot of money on their Royal Oaks, which is maybe a reason for why Audemars Piguet isn't so popular at the moment. But nonetheless, the watches are amazing and the brand does have a lot of heritage. I think they just need to think more about the client and less about what they're making. In terms of what I think they will discontinue, there has been a slight rumor that the double balance open wheel skeleton AP is going to be discontinued. Whether that's on the rose or steel, I'm not sure, but I think that would be the wrong move, and I hope that doesn't happen, as that is definitely one of the best watches in their collection at the moment. This watch brand has absolutely smashed its competition in terms of the heritage brands such as Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet in terms of sales, as they produce a lot less watches, but they are competing revenue wise. That is because a lot of their watches start at a much higher price point, but to even sell the watches that they're creating is a feat in and of itself. Now, with Richard Mille, they're very hard to predict when they release watches, as they release watches over the course of the year, where and when they make or design something new. So Watches and Wonders, we're not expecting to see anything spectacular, but there may be a new release that they've kept behind the scenes. I think what benefits Richard Mille the most is that their business model is completely different, as they work with a very bespoke and selected amount of ambassadors that obviously represent the brand in an amazing way. These people are usually the upper echelons of the sports world who achieve incredible things, and Richard Mille is a reflection of those achievements. I think over the course of the next year, Richard Mille will continue to increase in price and popularity, and I wouldn't be surprised if they introduce a few new ambassadors. One that I would love to see, and I think would be huge for Richard Mille, is Lewis Hamilton. With the move to Ferrari and the F1 team obviously being sponsored by Richard Mille, will they release something specifically for him? I think that would be a huge collaboration and would definitely take the market by storm. So that was a run through of my watch predictions for 2024. I would love to know in the comments what you think each of these brands will release and discontinue, and which watch you would love to see most.